In a world where every decision strikes a new note, disruption transforms the rhythm of finance. The power of technology and AI compose new harmonies of decision-making. And financial risk management keeps the performance in tune. Today is where insights are amplified into action, where strategies form a clear sound. Welcome to the very first edition of the Financial Performance Conference.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome in Amsterdam. Welcome to the Muziekgebouw. Good to see that you all have made it despite the stormy weather and the strong winds that we're facing today. For those of you who might have accidentally wandered in, maybe some tourists looking for a great concert here, don't worry, I'm not going to sing, I'm not going to play an instrument. But what we are going to do today is we're going to talk about financial performance. My name is Laurens Tijdhof, I'm the CEO of Zanders, and I'm delighted to open our very first edition of the Financial Performance Conference, or FPC in short. And with FPC, we have the objective to bring together senior leaders and experts with backgrounds from finance, treasury, and risk management across various sectors. And with such a great audience, we have an exciting day ahead of us. And we're going to have a lot of interesting topics on the agenda today, delivered by industry experts, innovators, and some of our very own Zanders experts as well. To provide you some context to the agenda of today, we have to look around us, what's currently happening in the world. And currently there are a lot of developments and challenges happening at the same time. They're happening all at once. Let's look at the impact of geopolitics, new regulations, sustainability, and let's not forget also the disruption from technology. That's a topic that we're going to deep dive today with topics in the areas of AI, digitalization, and also tokenized money. So it's all about these developments that are happening at once and they are happening at speed. And this is creating a lot of uncertainty, and from all of us with a risk management background, we're looking at managing the downside risk of this. But I'm also having a more optimistic view, and we also want to look at the upside potential and the opportunities that we can create. So it's not only about protecting value, but it's also about creating value as well. And against this background, the key topic of today is how can we achieve financial excellence in a world, in an age that is in an age of disruption. So, if we look at this picture today, this is where we are today, the Muziekgebouw. And the music remembered me of a quote of 2007. In 2007, Chuck Prince, the former CEO of Citigroup, he had an interview with a journalist of the Financial Times, and he made a statement that said, when the music stops, in terms of liquidity, things will be complicated. But as long as the music is playing, you got to get up and dance. And he also added, we're still dancing. And then the DJ suddenly stopped the music in 2008. The consequences were really severe, and the global financial crisis reminded us that liquidity, or maybe I should say the lack of liquidity, can reshape the markets almost overnight. And it shows us a couple of things. First of all, that sentiment can change quite rapidly, and also how fragile confidence can be. So the two key learnings here are the signals were there, but risk awareness was too low. And if we go even further back in time, because 2007 was not the only time that markets were overheated, let's go back to the 17th century. In the 17th century, here in Amsterdam, a single tulip bulb was worth more than a canal house. Until suddenly it wasn't. There was extreme speculation on tulip bulbs, which drove up their prices to really unsustainable levels. And this caused a dramatic market crash in February 1637, leaving many speculators with massive debts and this was also the first recorded financial bubble here in the Netherlands. So what can we learn from this event? The key takeaways. Tulip mania resulted in extreme speculation with a sudden collapse. Markets and economies always swing between euphoria and crisis. And finally, we all know by now that history repeats itself. So let's go back to today, September 2025, our first financial performance conference. If we look at the market, what are the key trends and developments that we currently see? Well, first of all, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is reaching record levels. I think today the value of one Bitcoin is over $100,000. And recently I heard somebody saying it's almost like the other way around. He said normally you hear Bitcoin is the digital gold, but he was referring to gold as the natural Bitcoin. So it's really, things are quite different than they were before. Another thing we see in the market is that traditional technology companies and new entrants are all developing rapidly Gen AI model, very advanced models, and they're also preparing for the next wave of agentic AI. And at the same time, we also see hyperscalers building large data centers at a scale and a speed that we have never seen before. And then, how does the market look at this? Well, at Wall Street, investors, they talk about the modern gold rush, and there's a kind of FOMO, of fear of missing out. So that's really the current sentiment that we see in the market. So what can we learn from history? Well, there is this Gartner hype cycle, and innovation, it always starts with high expectations. So that's leading to a peak of inflated expectations, and typically that follows by a market correction, and then the real phase starts, the real phase of productivity improvements, and then we can see what the long-term effect can be. So if we look today at stablecoins as an example, or central bank digital currencies, maybe this could be such a development that is really going into the next phase of productivity improvements, where we can see real cost savings that might reshape the financial industry. So today we have 2 sessions on these topics, so hopefully we learn more about that at the end of the day. And last but not least, it's not only about technology. We are the first generation to feel the impact of climate change, and the last generation that can do something about it. And maybe I'm hopeful, but with technology, we might make a significant contribution to slow down the impact of climate change as well. So against this background, the question is really crypto AI, is this just another example of a new tulip mania, or is this time different? That's the big question. So in my opinion, AI is not just another hype cycle. It has to be the potential to be a next industrial revolution. It's a kind of force that cannot be ignored, and the underlying progress is real. Let's only look at all those data centers and the infrastructure that's currently being built. But unfortunately, there's always a but, or maybe a disclaimer. We have to remember the 4 most dangerous words in finance are, this time is different. So that brings us to the topic of today, financial excellence in the age of disruption. So we live in a kind of VUCA world, so it's all about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So financial markets are impacted by all kinds of developments like digitalization, innovation, regulation, sustainability, and geopolitics, and disruption is really everywhere. We see digitalization with AI, with quantum computing, or the direction towards quantum computing, and we also see the introduction of new risks, for example, managing compute capacity or managing compute risk. We also see the innovation, of course, with crypto, stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, all kinds of topics that are on the agenda of today. But as a response, we also see new regulation, like preventing financial crime, or new regulation focused on stablecoins, like the new Genius Act in the US. All topics we're going to discuss today. So today, the focus is really on the power of technology and AI. And in my opinion, AI will not replace humans. But those who use AI will replace those who don't. So it's really technology and AI that we should consider as a key driver of financial performance. But let's also keep in mind we should focus on real productivity improvements, financial resilience, and growth. So it's really about reaching the result of business outcomes focused on operational efficiency, reaching financial resilience, and top and bottom line growth, and achieving that in the age of disruption. So some practical things I want to share with you as well today. Hopefully you have all downloaded the conference app. With the app, it's easy to log in, and if needed, there's somebody from the Zanders team to assist you. But you can have more details about the schedules of today, the speakers, updates of the sessions, and it's also a way to connect with each other through the app. So definitely download it. I think it's very helpful during the day. And that's also bringing me to the end of my opening speech. The final part is really why are we here? And we are here to challenge assumptions, to connect with each other and share ideas, and also to shape what financial excellence means in the age of disruption. So it's not about just observing the disruption that is taking place, but we should be the ones defining this future together. So thank you for being part of this journey, and let's get started. So the first session of today starts with a topic about risk. My fellow partner Sander van Tol will be the moderator of this session, and the title is It's All About Risk. Maybe with my introduction we should have added complexity and uncertainty as well, but I'm quite sure that will be discussed during the session. Thank you very much, and really enjoy the day.